Okay, we're all set. Thanks, guys. So, welcome to the webinar, The Power of Letting Go. And I'm really excited to share this webinar with you guys today because for me, I think I also said this when we did the art of letting go of approval seeking, but also just letting go in general. If we can let go, ultimate freedom. And actually, I have a great story about that. And I'm keeping it until the end of the webinar, which I'll share with you about somebody who let go beautifully recently. Okay, let's get started with a quote before I introduce myself. So this is a quote from Byron Katie, one of my wonderful teachers. Life is simple. Everything happens for you, not to you. Everything happens at exactly the right moment. Neither too soon nor too late. You don't have to like it. It's just easier if you do. A whole lot easier if you do. And I have to say that that's my motto. Everything happens for me, not to me. I just love that. Especially when something challenging comes up in my life. It's happening for me, not to me. And if that's true, then how can that be a good thing for me right now? That helps me so much. Okay. So today you are in the right place. If you are currently dealing with a difficult or hurtful person or situation and you want help with letting go of it, or if you can't let go of the hurt, pain, or sadness from the past with a difficult or hurtful person, or if you can't let go of the future, maybe you want to control the future and the outcome, and we'll have a look at that too. We'll have a look at many letting goes. I think I listed about 16 of them in an upcoming slide. And also, if you're just interested in the work of Byron Katie and you want to familiarize yourself with that, then you're definitely in the right place. By the way, I've got to practice letting go right now because the neighbor decided to build a veranda today. So I don't know if you can hear the drill, but I definitely can. So I'm letting go of the need for this to be perfect right now. Okay, so what led me to this webinar? Just before I can't hear a drill. Oh, you can't hear the drill, that's great. So I can completely let go of, and I can just need it to be perfect. If you can't hear it. Okay, so what led me to the webinar? I found a way to stop the pain that I had and I let go. That's what it is in a nutshell. What led me to this webinar. I love to share my work, which is mainly the work of Byron Katie, but I pull from a few different sources. And I would say in my 20s, I was really struggling with trying to find a way out of my pain. And, if I had conflicts, I really held on to them. I thought that's what everyone did. I didn't know any other way. And I remember distinctly my sister telling me or advising me, just let it go. Whatever it was at the time that was giving me a hard time. And I remember thinking, I would if I could, that's ridiculous. Like, how do you let go? How do you let go? I really didn't know. So I'm so happy to share it with people now that I do know how to let go, or how to help ourselves. If we can't completely let go, that's okay too. We'll talk about that too. So long story short, I just adored the work of Byron Katie. I went to a workshop and decided this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to certify in this and I want to share this with anybody who will listen. So that's what I do now. I've got a coaching company called Manage with Clarity, and I just love getting paid for helping people. It's a real privilege. By the way, stay tuned for the reward at the end. I'm going to share something with you as well as that good story. I've got something else as well, so please do stay tuned to the end. Do you like my dog? I think he's cute. Okay, so just think about, oh, by the way, please get a pen and paper ready. And you're going to use it right now. because we're going to set an intention. I'd really like this to be very, very useful for you, this webinar. So just think about what you want to let go of, and I'm going to help you with those 16 suggestions that are coming up on the slide in a moment. But just definitely write something down and set that intention to let go of it during this webinar. That can be really powerful, you know, just even just asking the universe, help me to let go of this, whatever it is you want to let go of. So one thing that's very common for people is trying to control everything. And that can be really stressful, especially, you know, if you've got a busy life and you've got many moving parts in it, like children or, you know, even pets, or when you've got a lot going on and you really want everything to work as it should. That can be really stressful, holding on to that control, because we can't control everything. Letting go of fear, that can be a great thing to let go of. Or feel the fear and do it anyway is another one. In the meantime, if we're not able to let go of it. Trying to please everybody. If you want to really focus on that, I'd recommend listening to my webinar from 2 weeks ago, which was about approval seeking. A resentment, maybe you feel very resentful towards somebody. They should be grateful to you for something. You've worked so hard, and holding on to that resentment can be a really stressful. And physically as well, the effect that it has on our bodies, all of these things that we hold on to cause a huge illness, and lots of physical symptoms manifest in our body. Guilt. It's a useless emotion, a little bit difficult one to let go of, I found myself, but working through it is really powerful. Using the work of Byron Katie and just accepting ourselves the way we are, rather than that ideal version of us, which will never show up. Unless we're really evolved and our ideal version of us is us right now. Pride. That's a big one, you know, this I know mind, we call it in the work of Byron Katie, you know, that knows that it's right, and to let go of that, to let the other person be right, can sometimes be difficult for our pride, and it's a real trap, you know. Byron Katie has a great quote, do you want to be right or do you want to be free? You know, when we let go of our pride, we get to be free. Perfectionism. That's the one that I'm guilty of, and I'm trying to let go of that one, and many of us are. Maybe you want to let go of negativity and negative people. You know, there might be a friend in your life and just, you know, you feel drained from them, or a family member, and maybe just if you notice yourself really feeling stressed around them, maybe it might be a good idea to put some distance, love them from a distance. Busyness, that's a biggie. And it's a really, you know, there's so many different coping mechanisms, like, you know, drugs, alcohol, gambling, Facebook addiction. There's so many that the obvious ones, but busyness is another one that sometimes we aren't able to just sit down and do nothing. You know, we have to keep busy. And that's because we are not comfortable with the thoughts that are coming in our mind. So that's an easy one to let go of once we go through the work of Byron Katie and get comfortable with our thoughts and not get so attached to them. Attachment to money, that's a big one for me also. You know, I've worked through that just to let go of that, you know, when we believe we need a certain amount of money, and our fears about not having enough can be a big stress for us. Fear of failure can prevent us from doing so much in life. Fear of abandonment is a huge one. We feel, actually, very interesting call I had with a client yesterday was she was afraid of validating herself and doing what she wanted to do because she was afraid she'd be abandoned by her husband. And when she was able to get clear and realize what that was costing her, it was costing her freedom, really, and valuing herself and what she wanted for herself. So, and the abandonment was totally, you know, it wasn't real. So we looked at that, and you know, the only real person that can abandon you is yourself. And if you don't abandon you, then, you know, you're not going to have that lonely feeling inside. When you can get self-love, basically. When you experience that comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's the way the expression goes, and that's so true. When we compare ourselves to other people, we lose our peace, basically. And I always say, if you're going to compare, compare down, you know, and then feel gratitude for where you're at. Okay, expectations. When we have certain standards and certain expectations on other people and also on ourselves, you know, expectation of our husband or a friend that they should be there for us more, care for us more, or be in a better mood, or when we have those expectations and don't let go of them, stress. Yeah. And expectations of ourselves, you know, especially women, when there's so many expectations on us in society, you know, to be the domestic goddess and, you know, keeping the house in order, and so many expectations that are so difficult to live up to. Letting go of those is freedom. The past and the future. That's actually, if we can live fully in the present, then we can let go of everything. We just be here right now, then again we'll experience a lot of peace. And usually if we're feeling stressed, we're either thinking about something in the past that's happened, or thinking about some fear that we have in the future that will cause stress, usually. Trying too hard. Actually, the reason I put this one in here was I was thinking, sometimes, you know, for myself, as I was thinking about this webinar and letting go of something, sometimes it doesn't, you know, automatically in that moment, it's just not possible to let go of it. And, you know, trying too hard can also be counterproductive. So, yeah, let go of trying too hard and just trust that it's just going to unfold as it should. Okay, so I hope that gave you some good ideas about what you'd like to let go of in your life. There is one thing that, well, many things that that can prevent us from letting go. You know, we think, I really want to let go, but if I let go of my need for them to know that I am right, they will win, or they'll use it against me. You know, we just can't. We just don't want them to have that satisfaction of being right, and just notice. What, if you can identify with that belief, what does that cost you in your life? It costs us our freedom. Again, I think of Byron Katie. She said at Christmas, if you want to give somebody, a family member, a good Christmas present, just let them be right. And that's easier said than done, because our ego doesn't want, you know, it wants to be right. So that can be a big one, why we don't let go. If I let go of this relationship, I'll feel desperately lonely. Sometimes we hold on to relationships because we're so scared, even though we can see that they're not serving us. So just try and think about what might be preventing you from letting go, whatever you want to let go of, what might prevent you from letting go. If I let go of trying to gain others' approval, no one will like me. That can be really scary, and it comes back to that fear of abandonment as well. Let me just turn my phone off. If I let go of my need for justice, I will be weak and taken advantage of. That's a huge one, you know, that we think, you know, if I just, so for example, if somebody is in a legal battle and it's causing a lot of stress, and actually, I just recently had a client with that, and the amount of stress that it was causing him was on his body and his whole relationships was huge. And when we talk about letting go, he had the fear that, well, then he's just going to be walked over and he won't get what's rightfully his. And that's not the case with this work. When we let go, we still have a clear mind. We still are able to purposefully go for what we want, just without the stress, without that real clinging to it, without that attachment, you know, basically knowing that whatever the outcome, we're going to be okay, that we don't need that outcome for our peace. That's not what's going to give us our peace. if I let go of my need to reach my goal, I will never reach it. That's another one as well. I need to be really attached to it, to push myself. And, some people say that, they need that pressure. And I'm guilty of that, actually. I was always a deadline person, when it came to studies, etc. And I work well under pressure. But just catch how much stress how much is that, what's that costing you in your life? How much stress is that causing? And is it really worth it? Check if there's a high level of stress, then maybe it's nice to set the intention for a goal and just let go of the outcome as well. Just remembering we're going to be okay regardless of the outcome, which is the reality. Okay, so if there's no questions, I'm just checking if there's any questions. Welcome to the newcomers that have just joined us on the call. Okay, so think about a situation in your life that you feel angry, irritated, disappointed, annoyed, or frustrated with, and complete these sentences. So with your pen and paper. I'd really invite you to go ahead and do this and not just listen in, but just to get something practical from it yourself, because this work, it only works when you implement it yourself, not just by listening. Though I was guilty of that when I first discovered the work of Byron Katie. I did a lot of reading and listening and thinking, that's nice. And it wasn't until I actually tried it myself and saw the power in it and how it could change my life that it really had an impact. Okay. So just think about what it is that you'd like to let go of and complete these sentences. So I need that person or situation, maybe, for example, if it's an illness, you could write, I am angry with God or with life, with the universe, because I have this diagnosis or I have this challenge. And I need this illness to go away, or this diagnosis to go away, or I need this person to go away. What is it? Just think about that for a moment. If you have any questions, you can type them in. Usually a question I get here is, can I write about myself? And we recommend in the early days of doing the work not to point it outwards towards another situation. It can just be easier to grasp the process. And but yeah, of course you can judge do a work on yourself. It is also possible. Okay, oops. Let me just go back, because this is very important. For this work, it's important to remember that a mind is like a parachute. Our minds are like parachutes. They work best when they're open, when they're flexible. When they're closed-minded and stubborn and really don't want to see another point of view, this work is not going to work. It really only works with an open mind. A closed mind comes from fear. So it can take courage sometimes just to, and we can be really afraid, oh gosh, if I look at this from a different angle, then something bad's going to happen. It's not. It's just questioning our reality. That's what we're going to do. Okay? With an open mind. So it's good to bear that in mind. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the work. And I would love to have a volunteer for that, so that I can do it live. So who'd like to volunteer today? I really invite you to take advantage and let go of something, and then share with others how they can also. Oh, great. I have an okay for me from Angela, and I'm not sure if that was old Angela or if that's for now. Let me unmute you and see. Hey, Angela, is that okay for me for now?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Hooray. Well done. Hi, Angela. Lovely to have you on the call. Thank you for volunteering. Because, yeah, it's like with live TV, you never know what's going to happen. And I just hope that someone will volunteer. And I'm so grateful that you have. Okay, so Angela, what is it that you'd like to work on?
I would like to work on actually the list you had. There are a couple of things on there.
Right.
I would like to work on my fear of the future, fear of failure after this. So, yeah, same thing.
Super. Okay. Fear of failure. So I'm sure that most everybody can relate to that. I certainly can. And specifically, Angela, what is it that you fear? Do you want to get specific with
Okay.
us?
I fear now that I have made I have made the decision not to go back working for my current boss. That I will not be able to find a new job, and the whole story that comes with it, the whole cinema that comes with it.
Right, right, right. So there is a belief if I well, you've already made the decision to leave your job anyway, yeah. So and to go look for another one. Okay, so it's I'm going to fail. Is there that belief there that you can find, or
Yes,
what's yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay, right. Okay, and what would you need in that situation, Angela? What did you write down for your need?
I will need to be free of this fear, and then I would probably then possibilities would show up, or I would see the possibilities.
Right. Okay. Okay, so thanks, Angela. Let's do both of them. Let's first we're going to work on I'm going to fail, and then also I think that's a great one to work. I need to feel free of this fear. Yeah, I had that thought earlier. I was nervous before the call, and I thought, oh, I need to be free of it. And yeah, interesting one. And I noticed I don't need to be free of it. I can still do the call. Okay, so I'm going to fail. Okay, Angela. So just get your best image of you failing. Just imagine, this is what the mind does. Just give it that space that the mind that imagines you failing. What does it look like? What image could you find?
Uh, it looks like a 55-year-old woman with no goals, being unemployed. I can see, rejections coming from job applications. I can see people feeling sorry for me. I can see people looking at me in amazement because how could you leave such a good job at your age? You're never going to find anything else again.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Yeah,
right.
not being able to pay my bills, going on unemployment, and having no goals. Yeah, this all pops up.
Great, great. Okay, good to notice. Okay, so when we're doing the work on it, just play that whole movie. Huh? If you're not paying your bills, the judgment from others, and rejection letters, all of that, huh? And
Mm-hmm.
the feeling paralyzed with fear. Yeah. So that's what failure looks like. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to fail, Angela. Is it true?
Well, no.
Great, great. Where did your no come from? Just for the benefit of
Uh,
those people who are new to the work.
my no came from yeah, some kind of little hidden corner within me, that says, "Oh, you're going to be able to deal with this," and actually, something better can turn out than the former situation. So
Right.
yeah, the no came uh, from hope, actually.
Right. Might it also have came from the wisdom corner? Inner wisdom?
Uh, yes, yeah,
There's a little space in there that's
yeah,
it's lurking, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the wisdom corner is feeding the hope corner, so it's like they interact somehow. Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Okay. Okay. So when they're not interacting and you've got that movie running of failure, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought that you're going to fail?
I start panicking. I start the scenarios get even worse. Uh, uh, yeah, I have this. Yeah, the kind of my destructive thoughts get fed with and become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And as Katie said at the end, I haven't gotten there yet, but I see myself. I have the feeling that I'm going to end up seeing myself with in front front of a shopping mall with the, uh, with the, how do you call it, with the trolley. But it's not that bad yet. So.
I don't know that story. Is in front of a shopping mall with a trolley? What?
Yeah,
What was it?
you know, like a homeless person.
Oh, right. I understand.
Homeless
Right. Okay. Right. So that, yeah, that's what the mind does. That's the images that come in when we attach to this fear of failure, that we're going to fail. Yeah. How does it feel in your body, Angela, when you're believing that thought that I'm going to fail?
Um, a lot of tension. Yeah, the tension is getting so. I'm very much aware of the tension. So yeah, it can go up to even having a blocked back, not being able to move, which is I think very typical for the fact that I want to move and I can't move and I'm stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you treat life? How do you treat your life when you believe, and your future, when you believe I'm going to fail?
I treat life as a total injustice. It's like playing against me, and now thanks to you also, Neve, I know that I don't want to slip back into the victim role. So I have these two sides fighting. One going, no, I'm not. I stopped being the victim. I am starting to act instead of react. And the other one goes, yeah, but this and this and that bad can happen. So don't be so cheeky.
Yeah. Do you notice is your mind busy with
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even make sounds now when my mind is busy. It really is. Like there's Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. It's there's another quote, Byron Katie again. If you want fear and terror in your life, give yourself a future. And that's that's what's going on. Yeah. Is there any peaceful reason to hold on to this belief, Angela, that causes so much stress that you're going to fail?
Definitely not. No.
So let's move on to question 4 then. Who would you be without the thought that you need? Sorry, not that you need. I'm reading from the PowerPoint slide, which is wrong. That you are going to fail. Who would you be without the thought that you are going to fail when you see that movie in the future? When you see that you're job hunting again?
I would be open, I would start getting organized, updating my CV, contacting people, and getting the message out there that I might eventually be looking for a job instead of being totally paralyzed.
Right. You mentioned that you might be looking, or that you are looking. You'd get the message out that you are.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if I might, if the possibility exists of me finding another job within the company, which
Right.
is, of course, much easier.
Right.
Go through the whole, who are you process. But I might end up having to look outside
Right.
of the company else.
And all the growth that would bring. Could be a good thing, huh? Who knows? Okay, so and let's just imagine that, because that's where your mind is going when it goes to the fear of failure. Yeah. So let's just imagine that. Let's go to the worst case scenario, that you are getting rejections, and that your people are saying, "Oh, Angela, why did you leave?" And you cannot believe the thought that I'm going to fail, or that I'm a failure, when you see those images. How does that feel?
Well, it feels very empowering. And it kind of, makes me feel right now at this moment, it takes away the stress.
Yeah. So how do you treat yourself without the thought that I'm going to fail?
I'm much nicer to myself. Yeah. It's like the moment counts, and not what's going to happen in 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm concentrating on what I'm doing now, and doing it step by step instead of trying to.
Yeah.
change everything without doing anything.
Right. Yeah, accepting just the mind turning. Yeah. Now, what I didn't ask you in question 3, when we were looking at the reactions, the stress that it was causing, I didn't ask you, how do you treat yourself? Like, is there any beating up of yourself going on? You know, what could happen if we imagine failure? We'd say, oh, why did I do that? You know, why did I? You know, I shouldn't have made that decision. That could happen. I don't know if that's going on for you, but and it's in the future as well. So. We can't know. But let's look at who would you be without the thought? How do you treat yourself without the thought that you're going to fail? Can you remember the reasons behind, you know, and validate yourself for the reasons behind your decision? Ultimately, why are you making that decision?
I am able to go back to the fact that it was the right decision when I made the final decision. I was absolutely clear and have the reasons written down, so I go back and read them when I start becoming a little bit shaky.
Great. Yeah. Does it involve taking care of yourself and doing the best thing for yourself? Right.
Definitely.
Right. Yeah. So good to remember when you've got that running, I'm going to fail, you know, and all that brings with it. To remember, no, this is something I decided to do for me. Yeah. Okay. So let's turn that thought around, which is the next step in the process of the work. And I'm sorry, it says I need up there, but what we're going to do is I'm going to fail. Let's look at I'm not going to fail. We're turning it around to the opposite. Instead of I'm going to fail, I'm not going to fail. How could it be as true that you're not going to fail with what lies ahead?
It can be totally true. It can be true because actually I'm going to find something better with more. I will be happier. I will be more fulfilled in my job. I will definitely have a better boss. So the opposite can be true.
Yeah. Can I offer one that comes to my mind? Why you're not going to fail? Well, your intention for doing this is really looking after yourself, right? And you know, putting yourself first and deciding, you know, to do what's best for you. So you're not. How can you fail when you put yourself first? You know, and really, yeah. Oh, I have another example of why you're not going to fail. Can I share it?
Go ahead. Yes.
You have the work of Byron Katie. So, you know, when you feel yourself, those thoughts coming on, you know, get out that one belief at a time worksheet and do the work on it, you know, just get clear about clarity. Manage your life with clarity. Yeah. Okay, so the turnaround to self, what we do here instead of I'm not going to fail. I'm going to fail was the original statement. So I'm going to fail. My thinking is going to fail is all I could find there, Angela. My thinking. If we look at how could it be as true that if you hold on to the belief that you're going to fail, that your thinking is going to fail. Does that make sense? Yeah. With the mindset of I'm going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
How is?
Well, that's exactly the place where the thing I have to work on, because nothing proves that I'm going to fail except for my thinking. So my thinking, I have to turn around.
Yeah. It's all to do with the mind, or do our best to turn. Can I? Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's like success coming from within. It's not from the outside. It's coming from me. And I know that's how I have to do it. So I have to get rid of that little devil that keeps on.
Right.
Saying you're going to fail. You're going to fail.
Yeah. I'm going to plug my 6-week program right now. It's called Inner Peace for Outer Success. You just reminded me of it. That's going to be coming up next month. But that's what it's about. It's inner peace. you know, for it doesn't really matter what our success looks like on the outside. So just to let's get radical here, just for the sake of clarity. If you had a choice of getting this amazing job, imagine the company comes back to you and offers you this job with amazing pay, and you know, on the outside everything is great, and on the inside you haven't worked through your thinking, and you're still really depending on that external situation for your happiness. That's one option. You could have that if I could give it to you on a plate because I'm magic. Or you could have a clear mind that knows that you're going to be okay regardless of the outcome. You trust. Which would you take from me right now if I could give you one or the other?
Well, the first reaction is one, but I know that number two is what I actually do want.
Right. Really let that in. You know, that's clarity. That's freedom. Yeah. 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 And also, you know, remembering, you know, I would even question that on a one belief at a time worksheet, you know, that I'm going to end up as a trolley lady, you know. With a clear mind and your skills and expertise, I doubt it. Yeah. So it's really, you know, working on our thinking is where it's at. Ultimately. Yeah. Okay. There's another turnaround. The turnaround to other. It doesn't really apply here. Sometimes there's not all the turnarounds in the work can apply. So I'm going to fail. No, I can't find another turnaround there. We will find it for I need to feel free of this fear, which will work next. We're going to go back now. And just before we do, let's really dive in the deep end to a scary thought. What would be the gift if your worst came true, Angela? What would be the gift in it for you? If imagine you just got rejection letters, and imagine that you know, there was just it looked like there was no other job coming in. What might be the gift in that for you?
Well, the gift in that for me would be not to rush into a new job just because I need a job, but that the right thing just hasn't come up yet, and maybe I'm not ready for it. Yeah, that's the one thing I can see.
Right. So what lesson might it want you to practice?
Well, to stop rushing into situations that might not be ideal just out of fear, but to take my time.
Yeah. Yeah. The word
ask the right thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Get very clear. You know, remembering also, I value myself that much to really get clear about exactly what I want. And what the word was coming up for me was trust. Sometimes, you know, it's if things aren't working out the way I want them to, the lesson for me there is just to trust, you know, that it's all like the quote from Byron Katie at the beginning, it's all unfolding exactly as it should on my path. So just trust. Yeah. Sometimes it's letting go of that control can be a real gift to practice that. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go back to the need. I need to feel free of this fear you mentioned. Yeah. So you've got this fear going on, right? You're human. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And is it true that you need to feel free of this fear?
Yes.
Can you absolutely know that it's true that for your freedom, for your inner peace, that you need to let go of this fear?
No.
How do you react? What happens when you believe the thought that you need to feel free of this fear and you're feeling fear?
I kind of force myself to feel free of it. Yeah, I'm pushing to, also on your list, I'm pushing for it.
Yeah, trying too hard. Yeah, that's what,
trying
what
too hard.
comes
That's
for me
when
sometimes.
I get into that non-stop mental mechanism.
Yeah.
It goes in circles. I can't get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So how much pressure does that feel on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, 9,
Yeah, yeah,
9 to 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And how do you treat that emotion, fear, which is a natural human emotion and energy? How do you treat that when you're believing I need to feel free of it?
Uh, I well, I get all tense trying to get rid of it. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, it imprisons me instead of liberating me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, no,
so
it's really good to notice this, with their best of intentions, yeah, because what we ultimately want is peace. So I need to let go of
yeah,
this fear, and let's look at who you would be without the thought that you need to get free, to feel free of this fear.
I would probably just, let it pass, let it come, and then go again, and then have space and time for more positive things.
Right, right, right. Let's get more specific. Just who are you right now? Without the need, just allow, it's fear is just an energy, just like all the other emotions, and let's just be with the fear. Who would you be right now if you want to just close your eyes and just allow the fear to be there? So who would you be right now without the need to let go of that fear? Can you feel the fear? Can you get in touch with the
Yeah,
fear? Yeah.
yeah.
And how does it feel to just relax and let it in?
Well, it's only half as negative because I'm not trying to fight it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of gets weaker.
Yeah, that's my experience as well. Get more space, huh? and
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
it's that book title, "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway." Just to notice that I don't think there's anybody in this world, or very few people, that can completely let go of fear. But just to allow it to be there, make friends with it rather than pushing it away. What we resist persists. And you saw
uh-huh.
the effect of that, the busy mind that wants to control, and just yeah. Yeah. So let's turn the thought around. I need to feel free of this fear. So I don't need.
I don't need to be free of this fear.
How could it be as true in your life right now that you don't need to be free of that fear with what's ahead of you with your job searching?
Well, maybe it could be as true because the fear is also some kind of instead of being a roadblocker, it might be something that will um, prevent me from making a fast decision, which might not turn out to be the right one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How would it feel to trust the fear, and just it's there for good reason. I mean, if we had no fear, we might walk on the side of a mountain and fall off.
That's how I feel at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. So you don't need to let go of the fear. What could be another reason?
yeah. That's a difficult one.
Doesn't it feel nicer to be friends with it?
Yeah, it does. That does. That makes that already creates some space.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. I have a feeling that the more I fight it, the more I feed it.
Yeah. What we resist persists. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah.
experience. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I just really make friends with it, will actually become, a companion that might be useful every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I offer some another reason why you don't need to be free of the fear? Well,
Yeah.
you'll have to come up with the examples specifically, but do you have a reference point for or evidence of somewhere in your past where you didn't get rid of the fear, but things worked out, you know, they were okay. Like a simple example of me, you know, I didn't need to get rid of the fear before this webinar because I still get to share and do it, you know, something like that, or maybe some stronger example.
Yeah, there are a couple. Let me think of the most appropriate one. Well, I'm going to take it out of my professional life again. It's the first time I had to speak in front of and defend something in front of people who were much more senior than I was. I was really intimidated. I was scared because I thought they'd basically, you know, beat me up. And I just stuck to my arguments with the correct, with the right wording, let's say, and the right feeling, because I really believed in what I was trying to defend, and it worked out very well. So I walked out of there going, okay, you have to stick to what you believe, and then you can beat the giant.
Right. Right. Yep. Yep. So you've got a great reference point for, yeah, just even with the fear, you were able to, feel empowered still. Yeah. Okay, thanks. So turn around to self. Instead of I need to feel, well, hang on, that is a turnaround already to the self. I need me to feel free of this fear. It would be, I need me to feel free of me. That makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Can you find anything there?
Oh, yeah.
You know that saying about we can be our own worst enemies? Yeah, yeah.
That definitely does. That totally makes sense.
Yeah. So how would that apply in your life? Being free of you or your thinking? What is it that?
Yeah, it's being free of all the the doubts I've had for I don't know how long, and I'm basically really, you know, sabotaging myself. So it's my little I don't know how you say that in English, saboteur. I have that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's an English word too, I think. Saboteur.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely would let the good things that are around come up to the surface and start showing and shining and
Yeah. Yeah. And I need me to feel free of me. Can I share with you what comes up for me there? It's
yes.
Yeah, it's kind of to get out of my own way, you know.
Yeah.
Because you know, I can put myself in my own way with, you know, and then I wouldn't share, you know, if I really was you know, let all those saboteurs, those sabotaging thoughts come in, then and sometimes it's what helps me also is just not to take myself so seriously, you know, get out of my way and just, you know, go with the flow, let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the turnaround to other. So normally what we do with the turnaround to other is turn the two subjects around. And the two subjects there are this fear and I. So I need to feel free of this fear turns around to I need this fear to feel free of me.
Okay. I have to write this down.
I need this fear to feel free of me. There's real wisdom in these turnarounds. If we, sometimes it's.
Well, this makes a sense in the fact that you know, as I am holding on to this fear, if it's free from me, it might just, you know, move on.
Yeah, do its thing like energy, and yeah, instead of constricting it, you know, just let it flow. Yeah. I just get this image of the fear going, move out of the way, god damn it, you know, just let me let me have some space here.
I'm just
Yeah.
passing through. It's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Rumi, the guest house, his poem comes to mind. Yeah. Make, you know, allow all of those emotions in, you know, even the ones that
Yeah.
make us feel uncomfortable. They're just passing through, making space for, oh, I so don't remember the poem, but basically, yeah, making space for something new. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Allow them in. Yeah. Yeah. So again, what would be the gift in it, Angela, of feeling if you don't let go of the fear, basically, if you just allow it? What would be the gift in it for you? Just with with what's ahead of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the gift of letting the fear in?
The gift of letting the fear in is that is letting it out again. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's letting it in and letting it out, and just, you know, letting it flow instead of keeping it there.
Right. Yeah. And just imagine, you know, because we don't know. Imagine it just likes being with you. You know, what would be the gift in it, or what would be the learning in it for you? You know, if this fear was always going to be there, you know, who knows what the future holds? Imagine it was like, you know, something that, you know, like a handbag that was going to be hanging around a while.
Well, that's okay, because a handbag, you don't have to use it every day. You have other handbags.
Good.
Or a handbag can also be empty and get, you know, very light.
So what was coming up for me? Can I share it? I have another adjective. My last adjective was trust. Acceptance of where we're at. Acceptance of where we're at. That's been a really big lesson for me, you know, especially with this work. You know, when I certified as a facilitator, it was like, oh, I should be more evolved than I am. When, you know, I should really, yeah, not be letting this get to me, or I shouldn't be scared, whatever. You know what? I am. And just accepting where I'm at is also can be really freeing. Yeah, this is me. And yeah, making space for self-love and acceptance, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
So how does that feel?
That feels very peaceful.
Yeah. So thanks, Angela. That's yeah. Just I really appreciate you volunteering to share that, and it's just evidence of not needing our external reality to change. And if we question our thinking about that reality, we get a new reality, basically. You know, letting go. So I appreciate that. So let me see, how are we for time? Okay, just a couple more minutes left. If somebody wants to put their hand up, if they've got any questions, go ahead. I'll just put you back on mute, Angela, unless you've got any questions, Angela.
No, thank you.
You're most welcome. Mute. Okay. So no questions. Okay, so I just want to quickly go through a final few slides before we wrap it up. How to stop needing the situation to change. So make a list of, the word of is missing from my slide, make a list of what you think you would have if you got what you don't want to let go of. That's a bit of a mouthful, but if you're still struggling with something you want to let go of, think, so for example, what do you think you would have if you got what you don't want to let go of? Right. So just say, here's an example. Just say I want somebody to apologize to me. You know, they've wronged me and I want them to apologize to me. I need them to apologize to me. So what do I think I'd have if I got that apology? I would make a list of, well, I would get satisfaction, validation, I would get to be right, I would get I can't even think of what else I would have, but I would feel that would make that external situation would make me feel better, right? So just make that list. And the next thing to do is contemplate. Is there another way you could get those things on your list, but not from them, from yourself? That's the great news, that we can work on those things for ourselves. We can't change others. We can't change external situations. We can let go of the need for those to change and look at other ways of meeting our needs. What can we do for ourselves instead of remaining the victim of needing that external circumstance to change? If that doesn't make sense, send me an email and I'll help you get clear on it. Okay, any questions about that before we wrap up? Just type them in the comments. No, doesn't seem to be. Okay, so I did mention a reward. We're nearly at the end. I've just one more slide after this, but well done. Everybody has stayed on the webinar. Nobody has left, so thank you. And here's your reward. What I want to offer you to thank you, because I'm grateful that you come and register and show up for me, because it's more fun to speak to real people than myself. So I want to reward you all with a free 30-minute call with me to identify what you need, or not what you need to let go of, what you want to let go of, what you would like to let go of. So send me an email and I will just check with you. We'll work out a time to meet, and I'm really happy to give you that as a thank you. That's your reward. Okay. Now, I just covered briefly, for those of you that are either live on this call or listening to the recording, I talked about the work of Byron Katie, and that all the resources for that are on thework.com, and it's a very user-friendly website. So just go to www.thework.com and you'll see lots of resources there to get you started. You can also check out my website, managewithclarity.com, and send me an email with any questions or comments or feedback that you have. I'd love to hear from you. And what I'd love to leave you with, there's something that literally, brought tears, a lot of tears to my eyes this morning, and not really sad tears. I was just so touched. So I invite you to close your eyes, just to relax and just listen to these really powerful words. This is Tom Compton, who's a mentor of mine. He's a certified facilitator of the work and somebody I really cherish. And his wife passed on the 20th of March. And 2 a.m. on March 19th, she woke up her son and asked him to take a dictation. And she said, people need to hear this about themselves. So I'd love to share this with you. For me, it was a real beautiful expression of letting go. So I learned I have a soul, and it likes good things, good choices, and goodness. And so I don't need to make excuses, because it just does. And I don't have to explain to everyone why I do good things. And I'm slowly waking up to the fact that I have a soul. Sorry, this really touches me. And it likes good things. And is good. And I am learning to get in touch with it. Now the hunt and the worry are over. Because I know I like good things, and am the soul that likes good things. Now smile and relax, because I know my true soul nature. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Smile and relax and know that I am good. I am God. So I hope that touched you as much as it touched me when I read it. Thank you so much for attending, for joining me. Lots of love, and I will see you next week. Bye.